Here we go. Welcome to the first episode of Schlockcast. I'm with Ian Ashcroft. Can you hear me, Ian?
Yes, I can.
Good stuff, man. This is the first episode in a series of episodes that we're developing to promote and talk about the upcoming comic Spacewarp, issue 1 coming soon. My name's Tony Esmond, and I'm interviewing someone who I've been lucky enough to work with in the past. Well, we say loosely work. I think we did it for charity, Ian, didn't we? Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it's good fun. Who is working on a strip in Spacewarp? Almost ruined it there. Can you tell us the name of it, Ian, that you're working on?
I'm working on a strip called Hellbreaker, which is part of the Spacewarp.
Great stuff. Written by the mighty Pat Mills.
Yeah.
I believe I'm going to describe it as a sci-fi horror love story of a way. It's about a dashing hero with glowing eyes, a great dress sense, and a woman that he may have left behind in hell. But that's a bit of a mystery, isn't it? We won't spoil anything.
No, best not. But that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's ideal for your style, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, in a minute. But what was your road to Spacewarp? So how did you get there?
Okay. So I heard about Spacewarp from a friend.
Okay.
And I went on the Millsverse, which is Pat Mills' website. I was looking up at all the scripts, and the Hellbreaker script really jumped out at me, and I knew right from the start that was going to be the one that I was also one of, I think it might have even been the last script that Pat put up there, so I had to.
Okay. So you'd read all the previous ones, and you just wait for something that you thought would suit you, and
yeah, I mean, I did do a little bit of art for some of the others, but I just knew that was the one that I wanted to do, so I didn't submit any art for the others. I just waited and tried to hold my nerve. I wasn't going to get there, but yeah. And when it came through, the script was great, the story was amazing, and then I was pretty keen to get that story. So
oh, good stuff, man. I mean, I have to say, I think it's ideal for your style.
Thank you.
It's got that sort of lithe, athletic, but sort of kind of cool retro look to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty influenced by sort of illustration and the old sort of pulp artwork that you see in book cover.
Oh, okay. Paperback cover type stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so we tried to bring a little bit of that into it.
Well, I think it's a good time. Shall we? We're going to try and screen share now. This will probably be about the 8th time we've tried it. So fingers crossed. So if you want to screen some of your art, and we could maybe have a talk through what you've got on the screen there, if you don't mind, in.
Yeah, I will. I'll just try it. Here we go. So I go into Dropbox. So the first thing I did was, if I just open this up, can you see this, Tony?
It says Hellbreaker.move. It hasn't played for me yet.
It's not there.
Oh, there's playing. It's playing. Yeah. This I've seen this. This is lovely. Now this reminds me of the stuff that we see from you. Do you want to press play again there? Yeah. It reminds me of the stuff we see from you on Instagram. Obviously, I think that's where I first noticed your artwork. Yeah, I think it was Instagram.
I put this up on Instagram prior to submitting any artwork. Looking up that Pat saw it, and he immediately sort of said, "Oh, I like that, and I can't wait to see more." So that just gave me the incentive to really.
Brilliant, excellent. Yeah, so that is that. It looks like Delarue. Is it Delarue?
Yeah, this is Delarue. So it was a pencil sketch that I worked on, which I since no longer have because my daughter coloured it in on me. But that then got put into Procreate, and then I just played around with the grey tones.
So there's no ink on that at all. It's purely pencil, is it?
No, I mean it was a really rough sketch as well. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say because normally I do these interviews just audio, but since the viewers can see you, I'm gonna say he looks a little bit like you, my friend.
You know, he's actually based on the actor Guy Pearce.
Yes.
The Australian guy.
Yeah.
Very loosely based on
from Memento and all that sort of thing. Yeah. He's in the new Bloodshot movie. That's where I last saw him. There you go.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah.
So, it was very loosely based on him. I just saw an image of him and thought that's quite a good starting point.
Yeah. He's got that sort of modern, but he's also got a sort of the golden years of Hollywood kind of look to him, isn't he, Pierce? He's got that sort of slick back hair.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He sort of can look at, he can take on a lot. Well, he does take on a lot of different roles, and I thought, well, this character's got a lot of different sides to his personalities.
Yeah, like there's a gentleman quality to this character, isn't there? There's a I'm trying to think. There's almost a Sherlockian sort of quality somewhere, isn't there?
Yeah,
It's that sort of.
Yeah. He's got like I think what we were going for was someone who's like really striking and handsome, but at the same time could be very sinister, which is quite a difficult thing to pull.
I get that. And that's the epitome of that in that image you shot there with the. Just play it one more time for me if you don't mind.
No problem. Yeah. So this would have been the first. That would have been the first thing that I did for the Hellbreaker before I did any sort of work after that.
Okay, so did you show that to Pat straight away, or was it just a sort of warm up thing you did, or?
I did it as a warm up initially, just to get started. But I liked it so much, I thought I'll share this. Shared it on Instagram. Pat got back straight away, and like I said, that just made me want to go and do more of the artwork and try and get the story.
Brilliant, excellent. So for those that I suppose it's not a spoiler to say that Delarue is a character who has escaped from a hell. I mean that's in the title. Let's face it. So we're okay, I think, talking about that.
Yeah.
So he has to have that the gauntness of a prisoner almost, isn't he? He can't be like jacked up, sort of.
No, and I didn't really want to make him a big, like, muscly guy. I wanted him to be someone who could, be elegant as well as vicious, and hopefully I achieved that. Would you like me to bring up maybe the title page?
I would love that. Yeah, that's one of my favourites. I think that's the first thing I saw of yours that got sent. Pat sent me a couple of the images to show. And this is great. So this is a combination of two images. I've seen this as two separate images, I think.
Yeah, this is two separate images. So there you go. So the first image is that's all done in pencil, really.
That's all pencil, because I'd have put some of that as marker pen. No, all pencil.
No, all pencil.
Wow.
Different kinds of pencils, but all pencil. And just placing him in the center, adjusting his cufflink. I thought that was quite.
Cool.
It kind of suggests he's about to hit someone, or he's just like being in a scrap or something like that.
Yeah. That old shortcut. That's the movie shortcut of fixing your collar or your cuff before you whack someone. Yeah.
Exactly. Almost like a Sean Connery kind of James Bond kind of figure, but he isn't James Bond. Pat's name for him, Delarue, actually means from the streets.
Yes.
So you see someone who dragged himself up, I think.
Yeah, he's a self-taught man kind of thing, isn't he? Yeah. But fitting in as well, fitting in. We'll see, I'm sure, as we go along. Fitting in other places, he's a cuckoo in the nest of some posh people, isn't he? At one point, I think you'll find.
He is,
yeah. So can we talk about the characters round him at all? Now, I don't want to give too much away because the female characters, there's a twist. So I don't suppose we can really talk about them, can we?
I think I could just maybe allude to the names. And so you've got one character's called Stephanie. She's in the striped top. From what we can tell, is an acquaintance of Delarue in some way. And then the one lower down, halfway down the image, she's someone that he goes on to meet with later.
Yes. Yeah.
But they're both great characters to draw. And then the other characters that you can see in the background sort of allude to other parts of the story.
So one creature may or may not be from hell. Let's just say that. I think that's enough of a teaser, isn't it? Now, knowing you as I do, and we are pals, although I've never met your good lady wife, which is probably wise of you because I'm a difficult individual at the best of times. But I'm going to say there's a striking resemblance on the left there.
Yeah, that's a good spot, Tony. She is based on my wife.
Yeah. Was that a forced issue with you and her? You're not drawing a comic?
No.
Okay.
To be honest, she does make an appearance in them all. So
Oh, cool.
That's when So in anyone that I've done any strip.
Good stuff, man. That's great. Yeah. Okay, so straight in with pencils, a little bit of a layout. So no computer work before this on this sort of image?
No. The whole project's a mix of pencils, and one of the things I'm a little bit worried is that people will think it's all computer generated when a lot of it is all hand drawn first and then scanned in and then then
Which I think people know is the regular game these days, isn't it? You know, you've got to scan it in, if not just to clean it up sometimes. Yeah.
I spend a lot of time trying to make sure that it doesn't become overly rendered and overly computer generated.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea that it's tactile and it's on a piece of paper that you can touch and hold.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously for the original art market in years to come, it's always something. Yeah, I'm always desperate that people come on, at least draw a bit of it so I can buy it at some point off you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, most of it I do find actually easier to draw on paper than on or whatever, and then the colouring or shit, in this case the tonal wear.
Yes,
on the iPad.
and we'll see some of that in a minute, won't we? We'll get some of that shortly. So did you want to? So what that is that's the kind of top 3/4 of the page, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the title page. Did you want to go back to the one that shows it in its entirety?
Yeah, I will. If you want, I think I can show you. That's
there.
The lower half. So that again is a pencil sketch, getting the ruler out, working out the perspective and everything.
Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah, you didn't make it easy for yourself there, did you?
No, I wanted it to be something that could suggest that it was an absolutely massive.
Yeah.
This location would be absolutely huge, and these rows of buildings could stretch as far as the eye could see. And I wanted it to be functional
and there's a sort of upside down religious iconography going there. Sort of, there's a little wink, isn't there, to upside down crosses, perhaps?
Yeah, the inverted crosses on the gateway. That's almost got an oriental feel to it as well.
It has. Yeah.
So
I get you.
I bring in a lot of different elements into it to make it all work, and then they all came together. If I just skip back.
Yes. So you've joined the two images together, and you've changed the inking quality, etc. in Photoshop. Is it used or?
Yeah. Well, because the images are. When they scanned in, they were scanned in as color images. They've got sepia tones to them, and the comic is black and white, so that's got to be removed. And by doing that takes away. But there is also a little bit of extra work in there to just add in some extra greys and some bright whites as well. And then obviously I had to get the title in there. And one of the bits of feedback I got on this piece from Pat that he was pleased because he hadn't often seen the title going across the middle of the image.
Yeah, I think that works. It's a funny one, isn't it? Because you've managed to almost make the shape of the writing fit in with stylistically in with the image, but it's still writing. It's not like it's not part of a building or or a banner or anything like that. It still is letter way. Yeah.
I think if this was say to be a cover, which it's not. It's the opening page of the story. I wouldn't have put it there, but it just seemed appropriate. It just seemed to suggest that there's two sort of there's a split in the story as well, where it takes place in one location and then quickly moves to another location.
No, that's great, man. Yeah. How was Pat to work with? Because obviously he's very experienced, and I know he really, really examines everything you do. I've just written a text piece for it, and we talked a lot about it. I mean, I love talking to Pat about story ideas. It's like the best thing ever. Yeah. But did he sort of art direct you? And Lisa, obviously. Lisa's got an editorial role, Lisa Mills.
Lisa does a lot of hard work behind the scenes, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Pulled a lot of this together. But working with Pat is so many things. But mainly it's just been a massive education for me.
Yeah.
He has a very clear idea of what he wants initially. Then might present him with the artwork, and then that idea just gets even more clarified, and he'll give you feedback. He's very honest, so it's great because you can take the positives and really build your confidence from that. And if there is an area that he wants you to improve, it's for the good of the story. And to be honest, the main reason to do this is to learn from someone like Pat Mills. There's no other, that is why you're going to do this, and it's just been a great experience, to be honest.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular you can remember that he mentioned that you tweaked or you learned from or anything like that?
Yeah, virtually on every page there was always a backwards and forwards.
Right.
Obviously, it's great if there was a number of pages that he was happy with and that was it. But you have to be flexible, and I suppose that's one of the great things of having this balance of pencil drawing and the digital approach.
Yeah.
Because you can react to things pretty quickly.
Did you want to go to the page that we can see it in progress? Because I understand that he gave you a few tweaks on that one, did he?
Yeah, he did.
And this is a cracking page, man. I was working and I had this running on my computer. I must have watched it about 20 times as I kept looking up from the typewriter to see it running. It's just a really interesting thing to watch.
Yeah, so if I just scroll down, sorry, about to come out because
that's okay, man.
So this is the picture. So if I just talk you through it a little bit. So
yeah,
we've got Delarue at a banquet surrounded by statesmen. And
some recognisable faces.
Recognisable faces who were drawn before the election as well. So the character on the very so if you like on your left hand side is the main character that Delarue's sort of focusing on here.
Yeah.
So Pat needed an image where Delarue was in the foreground, really dominating the picture, but at the same time we could see him and we could see this other character, and then we also had an idea that it was a banquet as well.
Yeah,
it was really difficult because you want to. It's so hard.
It's foreground and background all in the one go, isn't it?
Yeah,
that image.
So it's really difficult, but hopefully.
Okay, we've got like a moving version of it. Fingers crossed.
Somewhere.
No. So that's not the conclusion of the story. I'm guessing that's mid-story, is it, that one?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to that picture, but
okay.
It's just frozen. But yeah, so that was done as a sketch. So I've actually got the sketch with me next to me here.
Right. Okay. We can see that maybe in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll show you that in a bit. But it's a shame that that's not worked. But
yeah, I've been watching that all day. Yeah, I love the way, because when you're watching it, as somebody who isn't an artist in any way at all, I like watching the perspective lines and stuff like that you're using. So you get the shape of the room getting, I suppose the layman's term is getting smaller in the distance, as Father Ted would say. And you get then, so you're having to draw lines to make the table. It's a weird thing to say because it looks so simple on the page, but to make the table and the fireplace work, it has to have a consistency to it, doesn't it? It's
all got to go back to a vanishing point, and
yes,
everything all those lines will lead back to a vanishing point, and then there'll be the lines that you put down initially, and it is a complicated process, and that panel was the one that probably had the most revisions because there was a certain way it had to work.
Yeah. So is Pat full script? Does he break down panels, or is he a general page?
He is sort of full script, but he's very in terms of he will say to you, don't worry about the dialogue. So he'll have written all the dialogue out, but then he'll turn around and say, I think this image will work better if it's a closer crop on the character. Don't worry about leaving space for the dialogue boxes. I'll work around it. So there's a lot that he must do after the art's submitted to make sure that everything fits into place and everything is in the right area. And it must be quite an undertaking, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. Yeah,
the whole thing. So
I take it you go through Pat. Pat gives the tweaks, and then it's off to Lisa for editorial kind of input, is it? Or
Lisa will sort of talk about the finite details like page sizes and dimensions and panel borders and all those kind of things and what format they have to be on. So speaking to Lisa almost as much as you do to Pat, really.
I'm looking very much forward to interviewing Lisa on this show because she keeps dodging me on the Awesome Comics podcast. She keeps I keep trying to get to interview and she keeps running off. But maybe one day, Lisa, we'll get there.
And sorry, I was just going to say I'll send the animation of that to Lisa, and I'm sure she can put it up on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
This is going, so
see
how it progresses.
Yeah, well, we're doing better than this is like our 7th attempt, so we're doing all right, man. We're doing okay. It's going all right. Fingers crossed. So you're all finished on this now. I take it it's off for lettering, etc., is it? Or
yeah, I got this finished in 2009, right at the end of last year, really. So
and there's a little lead-in piece. I don't think we can spoil anything, but there's a kind of each story has almost its own theme within the book. It's really interesting the way they've done it. So a theme and a vibe, and a mood to each piece, and there's a couple of sort of linked pieces along with your story. One of which I've written, which is really fun to write. I absolutely love these characters, and wait till you meet Rod, who's my favourite character. I think you'll be meeting him. So we're going to see. This will be going to print, I think, fairly soon, and after that we'll be watching out for you on issue 2. I take it. Is that the idea?
Yeah. I mean, Pat. One of the things that is so amazing about what Pat's done here is he's not only opening up these stories for not unknown artists, but artists who maybe aren't 2000 AD regulars or anything like that, and he's giving everyone a chance and an opportunity to be involved in it. And then on top of that, he is co-creating every story with the artist. So
which is great. Which is the way it should be. They're creator owned. They're stories that, like you say, like people who aren't. People don't realise the indie and small press scene in England and Britain is so big now. Yeah. There's so many talents there, and there's only so much room in 2000 AD, and there's a lot of people flying about who would do great stories.
Yeah, and I think he's just presented everyone with an opportunity. Look, I've seen some of the artwork that some of the other artists have done, not necessarily on Spacewarp, but just looking at their website or their social media. They're incredible. Every single one of them is an incredible artist. And to be honest, that's always in the back of your mind. You're always thinking, can I get my standard up to the same sort of level as these?
That's nice. A little bit of competition. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Competition as well. And just hoping that you live up to, you get the feeling that a lot's riding on this, and you don't want to be the person
who's the weak link. Yeah, I get you.
Back a little bit, yeah.
You haven't been, I'm sure, man. You haven't been. Are there any other of Pat's creations who you'd like to work on one day? Is there anything that I've got one for you? I just wanted to see what you thought about it.
I'd love to work. I'd love to do something like Slain. I mean,
I was going to say Slain. That was what I was going to say. Yeah.
I'm sure it's the one that a lot of artists will say, just because of the history of.
Yeah.
I mean, just the whole thing, really. I mean, my wife's Irish as well, so that Irish Celtic connection.
Yeah. Well, you're originally from the Wirral, aren't you? So there's a big Irish connection there, isn't there? Yeah.
Massive, yeah. So, and I can remember looking through Glenn Fabry's work and especially his pen and ink stuff. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I can see you bringing the punk back. The punk Slain.
He's got an amazing artist working on that.
He has. Yeah, he's very good.
He's just incredible. So who knows? But at the moment, I'm happy with Hellbreaker. But that would be the one.
Yeah, I can see Hellbreaker running, man. It's I love it. It's the first one I saw all the art from. And the beauty of a great comic is you can pretty much tell the story from the art, and the words will be the brilliant addition. And I could tell from that. I'm just going to say I won't spoil anything, but there's one kick in the art you did I thought was the best kick I'd seen for ages. It's not a kick; it's kind of a knee, isn't it? Yeah. Love that, man. Absolutely loved it. Great.
That was from the very first page I submitted. That knee.
Oh right, okay.
That's the submission page. Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. So should we go back to full face Ashcroft?
Yeah.
And then I'll just see if we can just get a couple of things from you, and then we should be saying goodbye. But so what are you working on at the moment, Ian? Is there anything else you've got going on?
I'm working on a project called Keir Wordsmith with Dave West.
Second issue.
Yeah, second issue. The first issue was kickstarted back in 2018, and really that got held up a little bit because obviously, when an opportunity comes like this, you put it at the forefront.
Yeah.
That's all done now. So pretty much most this year I've been working on that. I'm going to kickstart it again, and hopefully it's going to come out very soon. It's
good. It's a funny time to kickstart, isn't it, at the moment? But I'd say I've seen it. I was in the pencils. You showed them to me. It looks brilliant, man. It looks absolutely brilliant. I love the first issue. It's really different. It's got probably one of the best female protagonists. It's sort of there's a real. I think I just said there's a real ballet to it, and I love that. That rooftops stuff you do is just amazing. Really good stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a nice project to work on alongside Hellbreaker, to be honest, because
There's a parallel. There are characters I could see meeting.
Yeah,
there really is. Yeah. And obviously you did the best pin-up of the year of Atomic Hercules for me the other day. Those pictures I had to send just so you could get me just right. Brilliant. I didn't have a loincloth, so I had to make do. Do you know what I mean? And where can people find you, Ian? Where can people find you online and look at some of your art?
Just in one place, on Instagram at ian.ashcroft.art. That's it. That's the only place.
Brilliant. And if you want any updates about this, please go to millsverse.com or millsverse on Twitter, and you can find out all about it. I'm very excited. I genuinely love this idea. It's got that feeling when I first discovered 2000 AD. It's got that originality, that edge that Pat writes stuff with, and you now draw stuff as well with. It's got there's a dangerous quality to it that I think we need back in comics.
This is going to be one to watch, I think, Tony. It's going to be a great book. It really is.
Right.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm as well. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah. Thanks, man. And I'll see you soon. Thank you, mate.
Bye-bye.